There's always news you read. You don't know. Are you laughing to cry? Have you read anything like this? The first time I read the news, I laughed from my mouth to the point that they almost heard that I was laughing when I read the news. And then, glory be to God, I felt extremely sad and wanted to cry. I was confused at that time. I realized what the Arab meant by saying that the evil of the calamity is not something to laugh at. It means very tragic, tired things. It makes you laugh so much that you cannot imagine that the situation could happen like this. The news you read about Pakistan's nomination of Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Nomination for the Nobel Prize must be by a body nominating or a specific limit nominating. This means, for example, that the president of AM University is a university professor specialized in the field, a specific body, a specific country, others nominating, an individual nominating, a body nominating, or a group nominating. It is not useful if someone who is nominating himself asks if he means being a candidate for a specific award, so someone must be nominated by America itself. Ha ha ha, I don't want to run. Trump, who won the Nobel Peace Prize, even the men of the Republican Party itself, even the Trump team, all know that he is a first-class warrior and that he means fighting the whole world, whether militarily, economically, intellectually, or in the media. Remarkably, very striking and predisposed. Most people don't know a man of peace from any point of view. No one has ever said that it is the number of peace except Pakistan in its candidacy. This is, and before that there was an Arab president who said this when Trump succeeded in the presidential elections, and at that time we made an episode on this topic, and it means loving, and this man means upset and angry, and he did not know what his comment would be. What? On the subject of Pakistan's candidacy, Lee, for me, Trump is a man of peace. This is Pakistan's explanation for nominating Trump. And why can Trump have a pivotal role in what they say in separating Pakistan and India in the war that was going on between them? I mean, a few weeks ago, India denies this. Indian Prime Minister Modi Benvi said that Trump had a role and said that this was an agreement between the Indian and Pakistani armies, and there is no major role for Trump in the matter, it means, but Pakistan sees that it is the role. The great game played by America is the reason why the war stopped. Of course, Trump is very helpful with this nomination. I am very interested in this talk. And he made a report on his social media trust in which he said that he really deserves to be a man of peace, and that he will be the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize because he contributed great efforts to stopping the war in several regions of the countries of the world. We are, of course, talking about the regions that ignited the war, but we are talking about the areas where he is famous, and said that in the end he does not expect that he will receive this award with all this achievement that is work. The truth, I am very surprised by Pakistan's nomination of Trump in such an atmosphere to win the Nobel Peace Prize, not only because his role was weak in India's issue with Pakistan, but for second very, very important reasons. First, Trump is the American president who most violently infringes on the rights of the Palestinians. I mean, we have not seen anyone. He offered to the Jews as much as possible. We saw Trump presenting to them. This means that he achieved unprecedented achievements for them in their history. Firstly, in 6/12/2017 AD, meaning in his first term, he recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. This is the first country to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. A little later, on May 4th, 2000, 10 months later, meaning the transfer of the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, he took the issue on his shoulders, meaning he moved with it as if he were the largest Zionist or Jew in the league, and approved the settlements in the West Bank and Gaza. He said, these are not settlements, these are places from Israel. So he added parts of the West Bank where all people talk about the issue of the state. The second is the Palestinian state alongside the Israeli state. Additionally, he presented the West Bank to Israel. On March 25th, 2019, he acknowledged Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. He stated that the Golan is an essential part of the land of Israel. The West Bank, Gaza, and Golan are unoccupied territories. he allowed the export of heavy bombs to Israel, which Biden had banned in bombs, a certain type of bombs that could explode over large areas. Seriously, it is not useful that Israel takes and drops them on Gaza. It can hit civilians, if they avoid civilians. So Biden did not have these bombs for Israel the first time he caught it. Trump gave these bombs to Israel. He is the author of the plan to displace the people of Gaza. We all, of course, followed it and know his goals, whether he owns Gaza or Israel owns it. He wants to displace the entire people. This is a crime of human genocide. These are war crimes. If it is the forced and violent displacement of a people from their land to another land, this is just a very clear international, legal, and universally recognized that this is a crime of genocide and this is a racist crime. This is as bold as crimes against humanity. How does someone like this get the Nobel Peace Prize? I don't know where Pakistan's mind was when it made this nomination. All of this is under a clause. What did Trump do? For Israel against the Palestinians? The second point is that America's position on Pakistan is a very arbitrary position, a very fluctuating relationship. This means that every time they give them a hand on the Olympic team, they help them suddenly, hitting them in the back repeatedly. This is very, very in history. Between America and between Pakistan, we dedicated an entire episode on the channel to talk about this topic entitled, "You Will Not Believe What America Did in Pakistan." Return it so that you can see the fluctuation in Pakistan's relationship, a relationship that is not intimate with. With America, how can he say such things? Everything that happens. The difference between India and Pakistan is that America is inclined towards India rather than Pakistan. And what occasion, in what interest does it mean? Third point. This nomination comes at a time when Trump strongly supports Israel in the wake of Iran's nuclear project. And we saw before, immediately after this nomination got already struck out of America, and before the nomination on the idea was pilots, which is a carrier of bombs that penetrate the fortifications. It was actually moving from Missouri in America, heading to a base in the Pacific in preparation for the war in Iran. He sees all this, speak Pakistan, yet Trump nominated whether he be a man of peace or a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Finally, it is also very, very strange that Pakistan nominated Trump after the anti-establishment statement that Pakistan made and said, "We are with Iran to the last extent and that we will support Iran in its war against Israel." And she knows that Israel is a card that America sees behind it. You yourself say that I will fight Israel. Who supports Israel and Israel supports America? What is the terrible contradiction that happened? Explanation. Of course, all this talk is an attempt by Pakistan to flatter America. This statement is confirmed by the fact that Asem Munir, commander of the Pakistani army, announced a few days ago, or a few weeks vacation, he announced that he had a desire to nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. This statement is about old, meaning 2 or 3 weeks. He said this, and when he said this, he was surprised by this speech in the White House, so he invited him to a lunch. Wednesday, June 10th is still very, very close, and yet, of course, this was a very rare invitation. The first Pakistani army chief to be invited to the White House, usually called the Prime Minister, only means or the President, but the Chief of Army Day is the first visit in history by the commander of the Army of Pakistan to the White Viet V. He was very, very proud of this. The invitation, and Trump made us because he had previously been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and after the splash, only 2 days after this determination, Pakistan is nominating Trump for peace. The truth is, our brothers, the nation is experiencing a very big crisis. It is living in a fasting in character, We see contradictory positions that you cannot understand or explain. You interpret them softly. We have a very big problem. We are far from the book of our Lord, glory be to Him. And when we distance ourselves from the book of our Lord, glory be to Him, we lose the light with which situations can be analyzed, an honest and sound analysis. And you can take a basis on this analysis, his opinions, and a decision to be correct and beneficial to the nation.